and the same question, I should say, of how do we move forward in what's next. And in this case in particular, it's just a very interesting case, but because now you have ICE agents involved in what happened, and it looks like that they opened the street back up on Portland. Like okay, so now we can see.
Can we go back to that shot? It looked like they were. Yeah, as we're waiting for the 2:15 press conference. Let's go back to this because it looks like for the first time. Okay, it looks like they are throwing snowballs as the officers are leaving. So again, I believe it was a state patrol, and we did see some MPD officers who were leaving that scene. Hennepin County telling us that their sheriff's deputies have not been on that scene, but it looks like as officers are leaving the scene, just having some protesters or bystanders, agitators, throwing some snowballs at them as they leave. We saw this earlier.
We did. Yep, we saw this exact thing earlier, and this was targeted toward ICE agents at that particular time. But now, as you mentioned, this is MPD, BCA was on scene, the sheriff's department as well. And as this street is opening up here, you can see a lot of these protesters, these people in the community responding to this. And now we're having an aerial view here of what we have been seeing, what we did see earlier, and now it's once again, you can see them throwing some of those snowballs at those vehicles, some of which we can see have just drove off as well.
Yeah. Let's see, I'm just reading through some notes here in real time as we're just going to kind of let you watch some of. I don't know if we have audio, if we're not going to play audio or let audio go here, guys, but no audio. Okay. Yep. Just
okay. Let's just all watch this.
Kind of
watch this together, though. I believe the door is closed now. There was an MPD vehicle with the backseat door open as they were driving, but. We're watching this together, guys, and as our photographers are getting situated there, you might see some shaky video. Of course, they're in the middle of all of what's happening right now, but we're looking at the aftermath of what has happened there on 34th in Portland after a woman was killed by an ICE agent. She was inside of her vehicle. There were 3 agents outside of that vehicle. There was some sort of exchange of words done. One of the agents tried to pull in her door handle. She then ended up driving off, and then those shots were fired.
So we're watching, just kind of watching for anybody who, seeing how close they kind of get at this point. Obviously, they're throwing snowballs, and I guess I've never looked up the rule around snowballs. We know about things like spitting or pushing law enforcement, but I guess snowballs would be a new one. I haven't looked into that one. But to see if anybody sort of gets up close to any of these vehicles or impedes their progress to leave that scene.
And that's where things could get really dicey and tricky, especially as we're watching these vehicles, these officers drive away. You have people right behind them. Hopefully they don't get in front of them, because then we can have a different scenario here. But now we're starting to get audio. You can hear some of the people screaming on the ground there. We have been hearing, you know, some of these protesters yell at these officers that have been here the last few hours or so, but for the most part, it was peaceful, at least within the last couple of hours. We did see a lot of chaos, though. That was around, what, 11 o'clock?
In the 11 o'clock hour. Do we have that aerial shot again? You guys, can we go? Oh, okay, and then we lose the audio. So the audio we're hearing is from that sort of on-the-ground shot, and then this is just that aerial. But I think if we could just stay on this for a moment, unless there's something happening on our ground shot, we'll just kind of stay on this for a moment and watch.
And it looks like they're holding up a sign as well. I'm not able to see from
flag or a sign of some sort.
This perspective, yeah, but you can see that red sign there. Not sure what it says.
You can hear the whistles. That's again from our ground shot.
Oh, another sign there in black and white. Also, something to mention, we are waiting for a press conference to begin with Governor Tim Walz. He was expected to hold his press conference at 2:15. It's 2:16 now, so of course we're just keeping an eye on it. But we have several things going on right now, so just wanted to walk you through, some of our process right now as we're watching this video and what's taking place going down Portland Avenue.
So we're about 4 hours or so out from the initial call, the initial incident that happened this morning. We still don't know. We still don't have information about what ICE was doing there in that particular spot in that neighborhood this morning. Specifically, clearly, the White House has sent thousands of agents here to Minneapolis to, they say, arrest those who have deportation orders. And so we know that is happening. We know there's a big surge. In fact, the acting director of ICE just yesterday said it is the largest ICE operation ever, the largest ever. So we knew this was happening. And then it was just after around 10 o'clock this morning when we heard that there may have been some sort of an ICE-related shooting. And then a short time later, confirmation that there was a woman who had died. And we saw the video of the woman in the vehicle. And 37 years old, a white woman. That's pretty much all we know. We don't know much more about her. We know that a spouse arrived at the hospital shortly after she was taken there. So that is all we know at this point. But the governor, again, speaking at 2:15, so any minute, and we may learn a little bit more.
Yeah, the governor will be the third person that we have heard from today. We did hear from Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Now, it was interesting because Mayor Fry had kind of two sort of messages. He had a message to ICE and then he had a message to the community. And I find this interesting because as we're watching the community kind of respond to this, his message earlier, he told the community to respond to the best version of ourselves. He said that this is something that, in his words, this administration wants to see. They want to see this sort of chaos. We heard the governor say they're doing it for the cameras. So Mayor Fry said, meet hate with love. Those were his words from earlier today, maybe about an hour and a half or so ago. And he mentioned showing unity. Now, we have been watching this video along with you as we're seeing this area view right now at 34th and Portland of people walking down this street, holding up signs. We also had some audio from the ground there as well as people just kind of using their voices to voice their concerns at this point after we know a 37-year-old woman was killed by an agent this morning.
Yeah, most of this playing out live, didn't obviously have the initial incident with the driver being shot, but afterward, just sort of watching everything play out for the last several hours and the escalation that happened in about the 11 o'clock hour. Some of the city leaders who did show up, and we saw video, or actually saw live shots of them talking with law enforcement on that scene very early on, and law enforcement crediting them with really helping to keep that environment as calm as possible. I think that may have gone a long way in this not escalating even further, and some of those city council members stepping forward and saying, they wanted ICE to leave, and the way to do that was just to kind of keep the peace and not escalate things and have more people get hurt or worse. So we've seen a lot. We've seen the story take many, many turns here today, and then of course there's a lot we don't know. There's so much we don't know. Even seeing the video, there are things we can't see in that video. We see we see the vehicle. A vehicle can be used as a deadly weapon. We don't know the details of the officer who fired the shots. We don't know how close that officer was to the vehicle. The gun, was it drawn already? There are a lot of things that we don't know. So that'll all be investigated by the BCA, and I'm sure there will be more video as well. Looks like our Leanne Purvis is on the ground right